Hi there. I hope you're well this week. So before we dig into N.T. Wright's biblically based and seriously orthodox vision of eschatology in his 2008 volume Surprised by Hope, let's recap. In this class, you've done, I think, 9 important and frankly astonishing things. They're all on the slide. First, you defined faith as a quality of both intellectual assent and emotional trust, that is, as an episteme or mode of knowledge that allows one to do theology. Second, you've defined theology as a way of discovery wherein believers can use scripture and tradition in order to act in just and compassionate ways. Plus, you've defined God the Father as the world's creator and ruler, fully expressed in Jesus. You've interpreted Revelation as God's self-disclosure in vulnerability. You've examined the covenant's views of creation, theological anthropology, and sin. And you've foregrounded Jesus' humanity, healing power, and solidarity. Significantly, you've also re-examined the elements of covenant ecclesiology, the way a church forms community, by juxtaposing it with the ecclesiology of disability proposed by Jenny Weiss Bloch. And you've gotten a good dose of the covenant's view of baptism and Holy Communion, especially as those two sacraments relate to the church's 4 marks. Plus, in the prior module, you reviewed Frisk's temporal vision of eschatology in his covenant affirmations, and you contrasted that very sharply with George Tinker's spatial vision of the eschaton from his work as an Osage theologian and a native activist. Now, in this module, you're going to tackle the first half, give or take, of N.T. Wright's volume on eschatology, Surprised by Hope, subtitled Rethinking Heaven, the Resurrection, and the Mission of the Church, from 08. So our module thesis this time is, Wright seeks to address significant confusion concerning Jesus' resurrection and ascension. In the 2 videos that follow, 10B and 10C, you are going to recap most of the significant things that Wright asserts about the last days in the first 8 chapters of his dense book. The first video will help you to interpret Wright's take on the wider view of the afterlife, his appraisal of the confusion about the resurrection in Christian churches, his argument about the biblical basis for resurrection, and his take on precisely what happened at Easter when Jesus was raised from death. Second video, 10C, will help you to evaluate Wright's thoughts concerning the cosmic future, like what happens after we die, his initial perusal of redemption under the heading What the Whole World is Waiting For, his paradigm of Jesus' ascension, and what the parousia, which he translates as royal presence, will look like for believers. Now, before we press on to your assignment, a quick word of warning. I find Wright to be combative and cantankerous at best in general. So he's attempting to refute a lot of arguments about the resurrection and its meaning in this text, but I certainly haven't read everything that he's read on this topic, so I don't always recognize the narratives and the authors against whom he's arguing. I have sometimes, in fact, wondered, reading this book, whether Wright is creating straw men, whether he's misrepresenting his interlocutor's arguments in order to refute them more easily when he's writing this book. So be aware of that, please, and take note also that his writing style is quite diffuse. He says a very great amount of words, and they may not always say something. So, in light of that caution about Wright, or pair of cautions rather, that's the focus of your assignment. When you're done the reading, when you've watched the video, please write me a 500-word discussion post and 100-word reply to a classmate concerning Wright's paradigm of the eschaton in the first 8 chapters of his book. Tell me what he says in the first 8 chapters, as far as you can. Tell me what you think, and tell each other what you think after. And when you disagree or agree with each other, please be charitable. I look forward to your insights. Let's dive in, friends. When you're ready, allons-y. Let's go.